What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and another daily reaction. We have a special reaction for you all today. We finally hit it 1,000 subscribers. Just within 4 months of having this channel live, we hit a huge milestone of mine. Y'all don't know how much this means to me. I've been creating content for almost a decade now, and I've tried everything under the sun, vlogs, podcasting, all of this stuff, and we did it on this channel with you all, with this amazing community in just 4 months. And that's just the beginning. We're on our way to far more and far better accolades, but everybody here that's right now that's subscribed in the 1,000 subscribers, y'all can say that you were one of the first ones. With all that being said, we are live right now on Twitch and we're doing a very special reaction. I'm gonna be having my wife with me. Now, I need you to bear with us because my wife's not too social when it comes to, you know, being on camera. So, you know, bear with her. But I asked her to do this for me because this was something that is very special to me, and in her supporting me, I asked her to do this. And plus, the stream has been asking for this for a very long time. So we're going to be reacting to NF, How Could You Leave Us, which is a track that I have already heard. And just so you know, when I first heard this track, wait, before I continue, let me bring my wife. I've heard this song probably like 3 years ago when it first came out, and this song made me cry. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm pretty sure you're going to understand why it made me so emotional, because it relates a lot to me. It's NF who basically writes this song in reference to his mom and all the trials and tribulations that he went with as a kid. But I mean, there's nothing else much to say, but we just want to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, my wife knows, she's behind the scenes and she helps me out with everything that she can. And I wouldn't be able to do this without her, so I wanted to bring her in this. So with all that being said, let's get to the reaction. Before I forget, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe, because again, this is just the beginning. We have a lot more to get to, a lot more milestones and accolades to accomplish. And also there's a bunch of links in the description so y'all can further join the community. Like I said, we're live right now on Twitch doing this. There's a lot of reactions that we do on Twitch that would never see YouTube, so you're going to want to come to Twitch. We have Discord, which I also want to push because that's going to build a community for us to chit chat. And also y'all can lay some suggestions in there so we can get to that. But anyways, let's get to the reaction.
How could you leave so unexpected? We waited for you, but
before we continue, obviously you can see the pills. Let's pick up the volume.
Well, it's already making me cry because I'm thinking of my kids.
you just left us. We needed you. I needed you. Yo, I don't know what it's like to be addicted to pills, but I do know what it's like to be a witness to kills. Mama told me she loved me. I'm thinking this isn't real. I think of you when I get a whiff of that cigarette smell. Yeah. Welcome to the bottom of hell. They say pain is a prison. Let me out of my cell. You say you proud of me, but you don't know me that well. Sit in my room, tears running down.
All right, before we continue, kind of want to explain this scene.
Be addicted to pills,
I've never seen this music video, by the way,
what it's
guys.
like
I've
to be a
only
witness
heard the
to
track,
kills. Mama told me
but
she
that's
loved me.
obviously
I'm
NF.
thinking this is.
And I really liked how this frame shows older NF looking at himself. And this song is obviously just a track, him showing us what he went through. But I really like the whole.
Real, I think of you when I get a whiff of that cigarette smell. Yeah. Welcome to the bottom of hell. They say pain is a prison. Let me out of my cell. You say you proud of me, but you don't know me that well. Sit in my room, tears running down my face, and I yell into my pillowcases. Say you coming to get us, then call a minute later just to tell us you're not. I'm humiliated.
You get it? Saying that you support me, but you were never there. And then you're telling us that you're going to come and pick us up, but a minute later you call and say that you're not coming. You know, so.
I'm in a room with the parent that I don't barely know. Some lady in the corner watching us while she's taking notes. I don't get it, Mom. Don't you want to watch your babies grow? I guess pills are more important. All you have to say is no. But you won't.
I like CPS.
Yeah, CPS is in the corner because obviously someone reported her or whatever. And so in risk of taking her kids away, which is obviously something that's not.
Barely know some lady in the corner watching us while she's taking notes. I don't get it, mom. Don't you wanna watch your babies grow? I guess pills are more important. All you have to say is no, but you won't do it, will you? You gon' keep popping till them pills kill you. I know you're gone, but I can still feel you. Why would you leave us? Why would you leave us? How could you leave us? How could you leave us? Why would you leave us? Oh. I got this.
Can you see why this song made me a little bit emotional when I first heard it?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the viewers don't understand because they don't know me personally, and I'm not gonna get to it in this video, but I had a pretty rocky relationship with my mom growing up, and listening to this track for the very first time, I don't even know how it met my radar, because at the time, like, I started this whole NF train not really liking NF, so I don't know what gravitated me to listen to this track, but I remember listening to it. I was on my way to the gym and I was listening to a car, and I couldn't help it. Like, I was crying like a baby going to the gym. And I remember being in the parking lot and just kind of trying to gain composure so I can go inside and work out. But man, it really strikes me. And I feel like everybody that goes through some type of traumatic instance, because it's a lot more common than what people think.
Yeah,
Like,
well, now it's more common. Well, I feel like it is. But I feel like I can not relate to it, but as a mom, like, I just feel, you know, I wouldn't want that. I don't know, I wouldn't be able to do that.
The aspect too, right now we're parents and we have a 2-month-old, and the fact that you and I, we've talked about this before, we can't even grasp our heads around the fact that there's a lot of parents out there that mistreat their kids or just don't have that love and affection for them to want to care for them a certain way. I mean, for us, you and I, our kid is our priority. And it just seems like there's a lot of cases that we hear of that's not the case, where the parents are prioritizing themselves and, you know, their stuff over their kids, which is pretty sad. But
why would you leave us? Oh. I got this picture in my room and it kills me, but I don't need a picture of my mom, I need the real thing. Now a relationship is something we won't ever have, but why do I feel like I lost something that I never had? You should have been there when I graduated, told me you love me and congratulations. Instead you left us at the window waiting. Where you at, mom? We're too young to understand. Where you at, huh? Yeah, I know them drugs that got you held captive. I can see it in your eyes, they got your mind captured. Some say it's fun to get the high, but I am not laughing. And what you don't realize and what you're not grasping, that I was nothing but a kid who couldn't understand it. I ain't gonna say that I forgive you, cause it hasn't happened. I thought that maybe I'd feel better as time passes. If you really cared for me the way you acting, why would you leave us? Why would you leave us? How could you leave us?
I like how he says there in that verse, how he says, I wish I can forgive you, but it just hasn't happened. I feel like when this song came out, there's a lot of resentment towards my mom and I was having a hard time forgiving her for a lot of the stuff that was done in the past. I learned to forgive her, and now we have a very good, cordial relationship. But at the time, this is exactly how I felt. Like, I felt that she was being selfish for wanting me to forgive her for things that I hadn't got over, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just love that part so much. And you can just hear the emotion in the chorus too, right? Like, he's crying. He's literally crying in the chorus. And
I can only imagine, like, how what he was going through with writing the song and playing it on repeat, like how he was feeling at that moment.
Yeah. Also, guys, I do want to let you all know that my wife actually sings. My wife doesn't listen to any music like this at all. So, like, whenever I'm listening to hip hop, rap, or anything like that, I try to explain to her, because this is not in her ballpark at all. She only listens to gospel music. She's actually a gospel singer for a church, and she's a lead singer, and that's literally all she listens to. So whenever I'm listening to music in the car, I'm always trying to break down songs for her, because y'all know me. That's just who I am. And tell them that the way I am on camera is exactly how I am off camera when it comes to music. Like, literally, even if we're driving 20, 30 minutes, we might just listen to one song because I'm always.
Well, when we started dating, like that's all you would do is break down music, and I wouldn't. I would just like like the melody, and that was like my thing. And obviously, gospel, like the words and stuff, was beautiful. But like since I don't listen to rap, if I hear it, it's just like the beat that I listen to.
Yeah.
So when we started dating, that's when you.
Yeah, and the thing about gospel music is that it's straightforward. Like there's no double entendres. There's no hidden message. Gospel music is meant to be delivered very straightforward, so that way people can conceive the message without hesitating. You know what I mean? It's right in your face. But the thing about hip hop and rap is that it's coded in there, and so you have to dissect it. And a lot of it is you have to know the rap and hip hop culture. And a lot of people that aren't familiar with it have trouble relating to it. And it's not until you actually dive into the music and start learning the culture that you realize, oh my God, like
It's deeper than.
yeah, it's so much more complicated than just a classy hip hop beat, right? But I just want to let y'all know that because my wife has a singing background, but at the same time, when it comes to hip hop and rap, she can't, connect the two because these aren't her genres. But yeah.
How could you leave us? Why would you leave us? Our last conversation, you and I sat in the living room talking about my music, and I brought you something to listen to. You started crying, telling me this isn't you. A couple weeks later, guess you were singing a different tune. You took them pills for the last time, didn't you? They took you from us once, I guess they came back to finish you. Crying my eyes out in the studio is difficult. Music is the only place that I can go to speak to you. It took everything inside of me not to scream at your funeral. Sitting in my chair, that person talking was pitiful. I wish you were here, mama, but every time I picture you, all I feel is pain. I hate the way I remember you. They found you on the floor. I could tell you felt hollow. Gave everything you had, plus your life to them pill bottles. You gave everything you had, plus your life to them pill bottles. Don't know if you hear me or not, but if you're still watching, why? Why would you leave us? Why would you leave us? How could you leave us? How could you leave us? Why would you leave us?
So on the last part, on that verse right there, you can see that the title of the track is actually a double entendre itself. He's in the whole first the first half of the song is him talking about her actually setting her priorities elsewhere, and so her actually physically leaving them and choosing drugs, choosing all these other lifestyles over them. But now she's lost her life to the drugs. And now he's saying, how could you leave us? But this time it's permanent. Like, she's not coming back. She passed away. Yeah. And so, like, NF's music, he talks a lot about how he's in conflict with himself because he's held a lot of resentment towards her. But now he kind of, again, there's that confliction because he's like, I wish I would have forgave her before she left. I can never say, I forgive you now because she's gone. Right. Again, super emotional song. And then, like, for me, in my situation, it made me think, like, man, do I want to wait till my mom is gone to say, I forgive you, I appreciate you, and I love you because you're my mom? Or do I just stay stubborn and hold my ground and stay whole in my ego until she's gone and then regret it? You know what I mean? So let's continue. We're almost done.
I think about sometimes I think about things like, when I have kids and you won't be there, you won't be there for any of that.
I feel like with like a lot of rap artists, right? They'd be called rap artists.
Yeah, you can.
A lot of them have this kind of background,
Well, yeah. Well, that's going back to the whole rap and hip hop culture that I'm talking about. Is that a lot of them have troubled upbringings. And well, the thing is, the truth is, we all have some troubled upbringing. Some of us are a little bit more woe to it than others, but at the end of the day, we can all go back to our childhood and then pick parts, things that were difficult for us. But hip hop and rap is really bringing those out. That way you can relate to everybody else, right? And so let's just say someone listening to this track, mom wasn't a drug addict or whatever, but what if their dad was? You see what I mean? Like, tracks like this are meant to relate with every single individual, even if it's not the exact same way, right? Maybe you had an abusive uncle. Maybe you had an abusive brother or sister, or maybe, you know, whatever it is, like maybe you lost a brother or sister. Like, it can go so many ways, and you can relate to it in so many different ways because it's kind of so broad. But the message is, how could you leave us, right? So anyways, we're almost done here.
I'll never get to see you again. Sometimes I wish I would have just called you. I wish I would have just picked up the phone. I wish you were here. I mean, you should have been there for us. You should have been here. The pills got you, right?
So you can see how he's in conflict, right? Like, and he's saying, I wish you were here. Like, I wish you were here to see my kids. And that's kind of going back to what you said when you were like, I wouldn't picture myself treating my kids that way, right? But then he's in conflict once again because he's like, oh, those pills got you, right? You're starting to see that anger, that resentment come back to it, hit the surface. So he's, again, he feels bad for not forgiving her, but at the same time, that hatred is still battling him, right? So.
And pills got you, right? I wish you were here.
So sad.
So what do you think about the song? I'm gonna need you to get closer to the mic.
I mean, it's super sad. It's heartbreaking. You know, towards the end when he was like crying, it wasn't just like a fake cry. It was like very a genuine like cry.
Yeah. So essentially, you can feel the emotion in this song. Like, and again, if you're listening to this track and you can relate to it, it's gonna break you down because whenever an artist can get, I said this in plenty of my reaction. Two things that get me when it comes to a song is vulnerability and relatability, and this track is perfect example of that. Again, it's broad enough to where anybody can relate to it, but it's also so vulnerable to the point where his voice is cracking in the middle of the song, chorus, the end of the song, all of the stuff. It's literally like a goodbye letter to his mom, essentially, and it's a really good track. It's probably one of my favorite NF tracks. Again, like everybody that's pretty much subscribed and that's watched the NF tracks knows that I started off this journey not being an NF fan, but I've liked tracks from him, like How Could You Leave Us? I know there's another one that I just can't think about right now, but that doesn't constitute what I think about the whole artist as their whole catalog and discography, which is why I wanted to take this journey on. But anyways, listen, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure to like and subscribe because this was difficult for my wife here to do, to get out of her shell and do this reaction with me, but I'm glad she did. Also, leave down in the comments below what other track we should react to, and maybe for another milestone she'll come back on, but I don't think she's gonna be coming back on anytime soon. Maybe for 5,000, maybe for 10,000, because I believe in us and I think that we're gonna be the best reaction community out there. But it's all up to y'all. Y'all gotta help us out. The people that are a part of this channel already, the one that's subscribed, y'all know who you are, but if you're not, join the tribe. All that being said, catch you on the next reaction. Peace.